All of England here, and welcome to another video. Today we are currently looking at a game in the Donskoi, and it's, I'd say, just pretty much showing exactly how you should really play in this. So this is on the map Greece, and I'll just show you the actual team here. It's a entirely tier 9 game, and there isn't a carrier, which is quite nice, especially with the new German ones, which would be able to really damage this ship. So there are currently 3 destroyers on either side, which isn't too bad as I am a radar ship and also come with hydroacoustic search, but it's just generally quite nice to be entirely tier 9, and it's just overall quite nice because I'm not really going against any tier 10s. It's all sort of quite nicely balanced, and overall it's looking like a good lineup. Now I'm going over to the left side because in this ship I don't really like getting myself really in the middle of the map, as then you can take shots from both sides, and in this ship you don't really want to be taking shots at all because it is just a very fragile ship and it damages very easily. So the thing is, with the Donskoi, it is a ship that I really do enjoy, as it's the playstyle. You've got to be very, I guess, fast and just very repetitive, so you've sort of effectively got to irritate your opponents into submission because you won't be doing enough damage at once to go, oh, you know, sort of panicking, but yeah, because as you can see, it's also got quite a slow reload, you know, ish, but it's just enough to get a good amount of damage output. So the way I really see this ship is, it's just very good. As soon as you work out exactly how to play it, this is a wonderful ship to actually use. And wow, that Alaska. See, when I saw that damage go down first, I thought, wow, what did I just do that? But no, I only did 3,000 damage. But anyway, so in this thing, it's a lot of maneuverability, a lot of positioning, and just a lot of, generally you've got to have a bit of forethought in what you're really doing. So at the moment I'm just staying quite far back, letting some of my team push up first before I start moving, and at that point, you know, I'm trying to sort of avoid shots. Now, you'll currently see at the moment there are 2 Masashis, and I did look before, and they are in the division, as you can see there. And they sort of play a, you know, play a big part in this game, as I'm mainly focusing on them most of the game. But, okay, yeah, the Alaska's giving me quite a nice broadside. I mean, I do wish I'd had AP loads, but regardless, I mean, the high explosive on the ship is perfect. I mean, you set just enough fires and overall just enough damage, but unfortunately that Alaska is going a little bit too fast. I thought he was actually slowing down, but in effect he actually wasn't. Now at this point, you can probably see on the actual map here that the enemy team are doing something which isn't really very well advised, and it's something that usually does lead to teams losing quite badly, especially if it is just a complete lemming, where they just send pretty much every single ship onto one side of the map. And yeah, I mean, it could work sometimes, but other times it doesn't. I mean, unfortunately, we do have our, I think that is, yeah, so we've got 2 destroyers there, the Mogador and Kitakazi, as well as the Missouri over there. I mean, thankfully the Missouri has got radar, so it can at least spot the enemy ships, but yeah, it's not looking really too good for them, because we also have the same thing going on this side, with pretty much, you know, the entire friendly team being on this side of the map. So I mean, it is really, I guess, quite a fair fight. I mean, because I wasn't really expecting this many people to come across anyway, so I was like, well, I'm going over this side because I don't want to go in the middle, and I was already on this side anyway. But unfortunately the rest of my team also did join in, so it's really quite a fair fight at this point. Now, thankfully, I was about to say, you know, that destroyer did have the advantage of HP, but it did take a torpedo from the Fletcher. As you can just see him there, and he is running away. I do try and get some shots off, and unfortunately only do 250 damage, but I do manage to actually knock out one of his guns, so that is still okay. But the thing is, you can actually see now, there are 2 Masashis left on this side. One on the right and the one on the left, and that is pretty much what is holding this sort of flank. So we're able to come in pretty easily here, take it, and then it'll be a fact of moving up onto the side of the map. Now, as I say, the way you play your ship is you are pretty much irritating. You just keep on poking, and you just overall rack up loads and loads of damage. So in this instance, I'm going for this Musashi on the right, as you know, it's quite a slow moving ship, so it's a lot easier to hit. It will be pretty prone to setting fire, and that's what is going to lead to its eventual demise. So eventually, you know, that's what I'm going for. But also the other Musashi is as you can see, for some reason going all the way up to the top left of the map, which I don't quite understand. We've not even pushed yet. I'd be using that time while we're here as an opportunity to instead get sort of further into a more advantageous position, maybe around those islands there, but no, instead he's decided to just, nope, go on the side of the map. But at this point we do start pushing up as we have captured the point and there is no one really coming. Now thankfully with the actual upgrades that I've got, so it's got the increased rudder speed, rudder shift time, which means I can evade shells a little bit faster than I would normally, and plus it's a fairly manoeuvrable ship as well, so when something like a Musashi fires at me, I mean if they do hit, they are going to hit, but the sort of, rather than, you know, angling and stuff, the thing that's better to do in this is try to avoid the shots altogether. I mean obviously angle if you really do need to and have to, but in this, especially at long range, your best bet is just to really manoeuvre away from those shots. I mean, my build, as you saw a few minutes ago, is, you know, well, I'll just put it on the screen again now, is, you know, it's just a pretty standard build for this. I mean, it's just got the enough range, it's got the concealment, and it's also got, you know, the superintendent, but it's pretty much the essentials for this ship, so anything else on it would really, it's just sort of additional extras, but this is sort of really what you'd actually need on this ship. Now, I can see 4 people looking at me, and at this point I'm like, right, okay, I'm going to start speeding up and just start hunting down this Musashi. By the looks of it, the WholeOfEngland, the Jeanbart, and myself are going to finish off this Musashi. Obviously, the Musashi is an absolute beast, and then the rest of our team is going to go over to B and see if they can try and take over that point. Unfortunately, there is a Kitakaze going against our Fletcher, and our Fletcher, if you remember, did have 5,000 health, so we'll see how that ends, but at the moment it is currently in our position and we're currently keeping it captured, but that will change shortly. Now, as you can see, you know, that Musashi is firing at me at the moment, but yep, manoeuvring, and there we go. Because of that fast rudder shift, I could just easily get out of there and, well, sort of turn away from those shells and they don't hit. And you just keep on doing this until they get fed up, because they'll keep firing at you, having to wait a load of time for a reload, and then just think, you know what, sod it, I'll just shoot at someone else instead. And right on cue, thank you. that was actually rather perfect. So now that Jeanbart is taking the actual damage for me, and I can just continue to start spamming him. But this guy is using the edge of the map to try and, I guess, sort of angle, or I don't know, doing something, but it's really not working for him. He's going to be taking damage. The WholeOfEngland's dropping torpedoes, and yeah, he's going to be dead pretty soon. I've just gotten a fire, which as well is very nice. And this Musashi will be dead soon. And surprisingly, okay, because I didn't actually see the end of that, because I wasn't really looking over at that, but it looks like the Fletcher actually took out the Kitakaze, oddly enough, so well done to that Fletcher. But yeah, so now you can see we have got pretty much total map control over on this side of the map, but we are going to now need to push in. The thing is, at the moment, you'd think, right, we are, you know, we're doing well. We've now got an actual ship advantage by 1. We've taken out all the destroyers, but 1, we've still got 3 destroyers, so we're only missing 1, and then, you know, it's just looking quite well for us, especially with so many actual battleships there. You'd think, well, there's no way they can really mess this up, is there? I mean, there is the Riga, well, 2 Rigas, sorry, which can radar, but even so, I'm sure our destroyers can still easily do something to those battleships. Now at this point I'm just going for the exact same thing here, so obviously I've just been spamming on that Musashi. I'm now moving off to the Soyuz, and you can see there's all these battleships around. I'm just thinking this is going to be quite nice. I mean, if I can set fire on all of them, it's brilliant, but at the end of the day it's just that sort of slow, repetitive, just keep on spamming, keep on hitting them, and eventually you'll just do a meaningful amount of damage. The problem is this Soyuz is playing in a very weird way. I mean, it's a good way, because it's something that a lot of other players don't seem to do. He just keeps pretty much changing his course, speed, etc. And he just pretty much just keeps going backwards and forwards, so it's quite hard for me to actually gauge, especially with the smokestacks and the angle he's at. I can't really tell whether he's going forwards or backwards. The moment he's going forwards is, I can see by the smokestacks, but sometimes it's quite hard when he's in that middle of shifting between the two, whether he's going to be going forwards or backwards. But even so, I am getting a good amount of damage on him and starting to push forward. I am, however, pretty aware of the other ships that are there as well, so the Musashi is now starting to push towards my position alongside a Riga, and then the other battleships are also quite close to that sort of Soyuz pushing in. So at that point I'm like, right, I'm going to start slowing down and just keep on firing at this guy, and probably start reversing at some point as well, because if I go too far, I'm going to be dead very fast. And as you can see, there's already 2 people aiming at me now. One being the Sawyers, sorry, soft Sawyers, and the other one has stopped aiming, which is good. So it's just this guy. But yeah, unfortunately, the reverse, it's taken a bit of time to actually come into gear, but thankfully, only one of them does manage to. Either that was a penetration, it was just quite a low damage roll, or it was an overpen. So I'm quite thankful of that, as it was the superstructure. Now he's not fired again, so I'm waiting for him to fire again at the moment, but it doesn't look like he is. So I start moving my guns over to. Oh no, okay, he does fire again, and I can continue firing. Also noticed that I did get a fire on him, and that could have been quite damaging. He's put his fire out, which means now the next fires I set are going to be permanent. Being one of those there, so now, as I say, you can just keep on getting the damage up. I mean, I've not done a ridiculous amount of damage. I mean, I think the most I've ever done this ship is about 180,000 damage. That was prior to this game. I still didn't beat that, but it's just more the fact I was really showing how you play in this, I guess, effectively. But either way, you can just see how it's just slowly and steadily going up. And at the moment, you would still think we're gonna win this really easily. You know, we've now got a massive ship advantage. They've got 5. Well, yeah, they've got 5. We've got 8. You know, how exactly could you mess that up? Well, just keep on watching and you'll see exactly how they messed that up. I mean, I'm just really playing my part here. I'm not overextending, even though I can see we've got a massive advantage apart from the actual caps. But I thought, you know, we're gonna get that. And there we go. Look at that. They've just taken out another ship. It's now 4-8. There's no way we could start losing that. Well, the Ostjotland is the first. I mean, for some reason, God knows what, he started shooting rather than using his torpedoes on 2 battleships. There's 2 battleships. There's not a Riga. You know, that's not going to be going for him. The only Riga is on the other side of the map. So I don't understand why he used his torpedoes there. But either way, I'm like, okay, well, it's me and this Izumo, so I might as well start doing the best with what I've got. Thankfully, I've already turned my ship around, ready to sort of disengage, and I can then get sort of more of a fast getaway because of now it's going to be going forwards, and you know, you speed up faster when going forwards. You can see I'm already going at 17 knots and increasing. So as soon as he does start trying to fire at me, I can just immediately get away and I'll be pretty much fine. Unfortunately, those were 8 shatters there, non-penetrations, which is a shame, but that's fine. In the day, you still get a chance of setting fire. But yeah, and then we go 3 more pens. And it's pretty much this just for the rest of the game. You know, as you can see, it's just the fact of it's going up slowly. I mean, I've got another fire. I'm already over 100k now. There we go. Got even more penetration. It's not much, but it's just this. But the thing is, because I'm doing this, I'm not overextending, I'm not pushing, I'm not doing something ridiculous that'll get me killed, and I'm very glad that I didn't, because you'll see that I have to clutch up very, very soon. I mean, thankfully the Musashi has now started shifting his focus as he's worked out he's not really going to be able to be too effective against myself, so he's going for the Izumo to my right, who's pushed up a little bit further, which gives me a bit of room to start now turning back towards him as he is starting to slowly get out of my range, and you'll just notice there that the ship gap just got closed a little bit more as another Ostjotland just got taken out by the Sawyers. I'm assuming the Riga had either radared him or they just got within detectability range, but already it's not looking good. And over at that B cap, just look at that. There's a single Iowa and 2 destroyers. I mean, the Fletcher's only got 5k, probably less now after the engagement with the Kitkazi. And yep, there we go. The Iowa's just been taken out by the soft Sawyers, meaning there's now 2 battleships there. And there goes the Mogador. The only thing left is the Fletcher. And as I said, he had very low HP. I mean, I wasn't even paying attention at this point because I was thinking, you know, I was literally just trying my very best to actually stay alive at this point and just keep on hitting this Musashi, because obviously at the end of the day, it's going to take a while because it is this sort of slow, steady, sort of chipping away at HP. So it's going to take a while, especially with the Musashi, who's got very heavy arms, so there's going to be a lot of shatters, a lot of non-penetrations, but I'm just sort of hoping on those fires and those occasional salvos which do hit all in the superstructure and do like a nice 4 or 5k salvo. I mean, even now, we still have the actual advantage on ships. So it's not looking too bad. I mean, we do currently have a disadvantage on caps, but we still have the actual point advantage, which is good. However, even so, it's still looking quite scary. Now at this point, if you look on the map, so in this position it's starting to look bad already. I mean, I wasn't really paying too much attention to the George to my right. I mean, I'd only just clocked him then. But you can kind of see that I'm going to be in a bit of a sticky situation soon, as I'm going to have the Georgia and Sawyers on one side, I'm going to have the Musashi on the other. That will prove to be quite an issue in time, so I do drop some preemptive torpedoes onto that Georgia, and I'm keeping sort of turned into him because the Georgia does have some pretty good guns, but at the same time, so does the Musashi. I mean, arguably, I don't really want to be taking damage from the Musashi. I mean, he's looking at me at the moment, so I'm now turning back into him because at the end of the day, I don't want to be taking damage from the Musashi. It's going to be better if I angle against Musashi rather than Georgia because, I mean, that's the logical solution here. You do not want to be taking a broadside from Musashi. That is just going to kill you. But at this point, yeah, I had to make that difficult decision, and I chose to angle against the Musashi. I mean, I've got my torpedoes off, so just in the event that this guy actually doesn't die, then those will get him. But you saw that I did actually get a flooding onto that Georgia, so I've taken a lot of damage off him, and I'm dead, which is bad. And as well as that, the Musashi's taken out the Izumo, and now we're losing. See, if I hadn't have stayed alive so long, I wouldn't have been able to get that kill there. As you see, I've just gotten that one there, so that's confirmed my third, and I've got 167,000 damage. I'm just going to come out of... Actually, it should... there we go, yeah, it was doing my camera control then, but... You know, I'll come out into 3 view here, so if I just go here... So you can currently see, that was getting quite loud there, so thankfully I was able to actually take out that Musashi because I had got, I believe, probably 2 fires on him at that point, as well as like the Georgia was flooding, but he's put that out now. I'm actually going to come off this camera control here. Okay, for some reason I don't think that is working, so I am going to have to go over here. But thankfully the Sawyers is now also nearly dead, but this Georgia as well is very low because I got those torpedoes off. But what I'm sort of trying to get at is just, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter like how sort of guaranteed a win is you don't really give it up, because you just saw that we had double the amount of ships that they had. And now we are barely just winning only because I managed to take out the other one, because let's say I hadn't been focusing on that Musashi, I'd just gone and rushed in, died very fast. He'd still have around like 30k left, alongside this Georgia, which has now already got 20k, and that would then be a sort of less fair fight, really. I mean, thankfully the Georgia is taking a lot of torpedoes here, but either way, it's just not looking, you know, it's not looking too good for him, but that was a very, very close game. I mean, now it's just really a fact of, can I... There we go. Okay, yeah, I can just get over it here. Oh, he's got this nice new ARP skin. So, good thing here is we've now got the cap advantage. You know, this Musashi's getting the last of them and firing on this Georgia, but, you know, that was a little bit too close for comfort for me. I mean, yeah, there we go, 6k. So, I think just the thing to really take from this video is just even if you're winning, don't do anything stupid, because very easily you are, you know, you're going to be possibly giving up your game if you're going in alongside everyone else suiciding. But thankfully we did win this game, and I'm just quite glad that I just carried on doing what I was doing at the time, and it allowed me to get, I mean, you can see that 1.8 million potential, but the 167k in the game like this, I'm just very happy with. So now it's just that Georgia is bad to take some torpedoes. He's slowly being knocked out. I'm just putting GG in chat. And there we go, that is the actual game. Okay, so now we are on the end result screen. So as you can see, I've got a very nice amount of credits there, 596k, which I'm quite happy with. It's got some flags on, 13,700 XP, just because I'm trying to get the A Nevsky, as well as Sticksam 3 XP, and you can currently see that I've got the Witherer Award, as well as I've got the Arsonist Award, and then just the Flesh Wound, as I did manage to take out that Musashi at the end. Now, I did only get a single kill, which was that thing, but even so, it shows you that kills don't really matter. Well, obviously kills matter in this game, because if you can take a gun out, that's very important, but as long as someone does it, but it doesn't matter if you get it, as long as someone does. So as you can see, you know, that's pretty impactful for what I did that game. I mean, 300 main battery hits, you know, allowing me to get 167k, which I'd say is, you know, it's not the best score ever. You know, I've seen people getting ridiculously high scores, but it's not an awful one. I'd say I'm quite happy with that. Obviously that torpedo hit. It would be nice if I could have gotten more than that on that Georgia and possibly gotten the double kill there. That would have been pretty cool. As well as incapacitation, I mean the 13 fires, which is pretty good, and a flooding, as well as a single capture. And then we'll just go over to the team score. So you can see, as I say, it's not like an overwhelmingly good game. This, this is sort of the point I'm trying to get across with this video. I didn't come on top of the team at all. I mean, the Musashi's got 2.5k base XP, the Fletcher with a few less. I mean, that's really good anyway. I mean, what he did there, he took out a kit of cars, he got 4 kills, I mean, and probably got a few caps. Either way, that's very good. As well as the Ostalot, Jotland, and the Iowa. So, as I say, they've all done really well, but it was more just a team effort, and thankfully we came out on top. And then we'll just quickly go on to the damage report, well, detailed report to see what I've actually done. So, yeah, the majority of that damage was on that one Musashi with 94,000 damage. I mean, yeah, total damage was 94,614. So that was, I'm guessing, across multiple ships, but that is pretty much all the damage. If you just put that into one ship, that was almost as much as I did to the Musashi. And then there's obviously just under 40k on the Soft Sawyers, 20k on the other Musashi, which was running away, a bit on the Georgia, and, some other negligible amounts on the Alaska and the Riga. I think there was also the Fletcher where it did like 250 damage. But regardless, you can sort of see how over time it really does stack up. So it's just that slowly just chipping away, which really, really does it in this ship. And I say I really enjoy this ship, and I'm quite looking forward to getting the Alexander Nevsky, and hopefully I'll be able to sort of breach 200k in that and see what I can do in it. But regardless, that's pretty much it. And then just go to credits and XP, so you can see, yeah, 13,700 with the, that is, well, you can see that was all on the main screen before, but actual profit was 483k. So that's pretty much it from this video. I quite enjoyed playing the game, and quite enjoyed showing you as well. I mean, because I don't really just want to be showing you these sort of crazy games where I'm getting like 200,000-300,000 damage sort of thing as well. Just games like this as well. It's just generally how to really be performing in a ship, and what to do in certain situations. I mean, looking back on that, I think if I was looking at the map a little more sort of closely, then I probably would have started turning away far sooner. So I could have then started kiting away the Musashi, and then started going to the Georgia. But regardless, I still think considering at the time, with what I was thinking, I was like, right, okay, I need to turn and make that decision. I'm quite happy with what I did. But pretty much that is the entire video. If there's any sort of ships you want me to really have some gameplay, analysis, etc. in the future, then let me know in the comments. As well as anything you can see that could be improved on, or just any comments, just let me know below. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, and that's it from me. So if you want to see more from me in the future, then make sure to drop a subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.